Hey America, it's me. Tuna and Noodle Casserole. Obviously that's what I'm doing. You guys saw the title, okay? I'm filming by myself and I don't have a tripod right now. I'll set that up in a second. My wife's at work and she told me yesterday we were talking, or the day before we were talking, about a dish that her mother used to make for her, and it's the casserole, okay? So I'm gonna try to get this done before she comes home from work, all right? Just a surprise. Now, a lot of recipes I've heard, I've been looking around and seeing people use soup, you know, condensed soup, cream of mushroom soup, cream of celery soup, cream of something soup. Guys, I'm not gonna use any soup. I'm gonna do this from scratch completely, all right? And once again, hopefully it's gonna turn out okay. Okay, now let me introduce you to my supporting cast, and there it is. Boom. Obviously, I need some noodles if I'm doing tuna noodle casserole. These are already dried. All right, I made these a couple days back. All right, this right here, it's fettuccine, pretty much egg noodles. All right, you guys see my my last video I did making my own semolina pasta. Take a look at that if you want to make your own. And this right here I did, and I kind of made up into baskets. It should come apart okay as they cook if I use those. All right, I need celery. All right, a couple stalks of celery. I'm going to use some half and half. I'm going to use flour. That's what's in here. Some panko breadcrumbs. All right, that's going to be my breading on top. I'm going to use an onion. I don't know how much yet. Butter. Also, I don't know how much yet. I'll show you guys as I see it. I'm going to use some mushrooms, some frozen green peas, and I got some sharp cheddar. All right, 1 pound. And notice I do not have that in the bag already done. I'm gonna grate my own, because when you buy it in a bag, it's got that white powdery stuff on there to keep it from sticking together, and I don't want none of that inside of my food. All right, guys. So, and obviously I got some boiling water right over that way. Let me get my prep work done, and then we'll get into this. This isn't that hard. You guys will be cooking this up in real quick, fast, in a hurry. Let me get my prep work done, and then we'll move on from there. All right, guys. Nice. Hey, guys, I almost made a terrible mistake. All right. All the other ingredients I added, plus you need tuna to make a tuna noodle casserole. All right, I got 3 big 12-ounce cans of bumblebee tuna, all right, in water. I don't know if I'm gonna use it all, but who knows. In addition, guys, when I was doing my prep work, well, I'm still doing it, but I went in the refrigerator and I had like 4 or 5 scallions, green onions, and I didn't want them to go bad, so I chopped them up too. So I put them in here with the where did I put it here? All right, with my half of onion. I'm not going to use the whole one now. I use half of onion and then a bunch of scallions that I chopped up, just because I didn't want to waste them. All right, guys, you guys do use as much or little onion, scallions, or whatever that you want. All right, guys, now let me get back to prep work. All right, guys, once again, I'm filming this solo. Okay, so what I got in my big old pan here is half a stick of butter, 2 tablespoons of butter. My pan's kind of warm here. What's going in is my onions and my shallots. Okay, they're in there. Half an onion and about 4 or 5 shallots, and 2 stalks of celery. All right, chopped up very small. All right, they're in there too. All right, guys. Now I'm gonna let this cook. I'm gonna let these cook here for about 5 minutes, give or take. I'm looking for a spoon. I know y'all can't see me. There you go. Give us a stir. I'm gonna let these sweat down, just cook down a little bit for about 5 minutes. Ooh, that smells good. While I got y'all watching, I'm just gonna throw in a little bit of fresh cracked black pepper to taste, y'all. A couple grinds, small pinch of salt, and that's that. Stir that in. And I'm gonna let these sweat down until they're translucent. All right, guys. So I'll be right back. I'll be right back after I get these squared away. All right. Nice. All right, guys. These are going about 2 to 3 minutes, maybe 4. They're not translucent, but they were sauteed, a little very fragrant. All right. They sweated down a little bit. The next thing I'm gonna throw in is the whole pack. This is a whole pack. Don't put your face close to your stove. Of mushrooms. All right, and I just cut them up myself, sliced them. And put the whole pack in there, guys. These are gonna produce some liquid. All right, and I'm gonna cook these. I'll show it to you until once the liquid that they produce is just about gone. I'm continuing to cook these down. All right, so Bear with me. Let me get this process squared away, and I'll be right back. Okay? All right, guys, we're back. I done cooked down my mushrooms. Not that much liquid, I was surprised. But I'm going to put in half of this bag at this point. Turn my heat down low of these frozen peas. Half a bag. That looks about good. Half a bag of frozen peas. Now, these been sitting out a little bit. They might be thawed somewhat. Throw them in there. I'm just going to stir them around, let them warm a little bit. All right, I'm not really worried about these too much because the heat from my other vegetables is going to warm them up. All right, guys. And then I'm also going to be putting this mixture and putting it in the oven. All right, guys. So that's good. Mix everything together like so. And now I'm gonna remove. I'm taking everything out and I'm gonna leave the turn my heat off. I'm gonna take everything out and I'll show you what the next step is. All right, guys? All right, guys, we're back. Put my heat on medium low. In the same pan I just emptied, guys, I'm throwing in a half a stick of butter. I ain't say this was gonna be a healthy one. All right, half a stick of butter. I'm gonna let that melt down. All right, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add some flour. All right, after this melts down, I'm gonna add some flour and I'm gonna make a roux. All right, so half a stick of butter is about 4 tablespoons. So I'm gonna add about 2 or 3 tablespoons of flour and I'm gonna make a roux out of that. Let me get that piece done. I'm not gonna brown it too much. Let me get that combined and then I'll show you what's next. All right, guys, this is going pretty quick. I got my roux together. It's combined, you see that? Like I can hear you say yeah. Okay, as soon as my roux comes together, you see it's starting to get frothy and bubbly. Now I'm gonna add my half and half. This is about half a container and I'm gonna whisk it while I'm going along. I'll pick up all that roux. Oh, that's about half this container, give or take. And I'm gonna whisk this together, guys, until, turn the heat up a little bit, until it starts to thicken. Once it thickens, then you guys, oh, I have to kick my camera over. Once it thickens, guys, then I'll let you guys see the next step. All right, so I'll be right back. Got to be more careful. All right, America, I'm back. Now, I got my pasta on. This one's gonna take me a couple 5 minutes or so. So this is gonna be real quick. You see how that's thickened? I'm throwing my cheese. I'm gonna whisk that in. All right, turn the heat off completely. I'm gonna whisk my cheese in. Yeah, see that? Nice. Actually, that's a little bit thick. Yeah, it is a little thick. So what I'm gonna have to do, y'all, is I'm gonna cut that with some of my pasta water. Real quick, fast. Just a little bit. A little bit of my pasta water. Let me continue working with this, y'all. Get the consistency right. And I'll be right back with you. Alright, y'all, got my consistency right. Just add a little bit of pasta water, some more cream if you add. Y'all see that? Okay, from here, I'm gonna recombine the peas, onions, shallots, and mushrooms. I'm throwing them in. Give that a stir. Nice. You with me, guys? Nice. Okay. While I was on break, I already drank my pasta. Okay, as well as my tuna. Alright, drop that tuna in there. I'm gonna break it up a little bit. That's 2 cans, guys, not 3. 2 cans of tuna, not 3. Break my tuna up a little bit, give that a stir. Nice. I'm just gonna keep this going. Y'all see where I'm going with this, right? Okay. And the pasta's already done. Let me throw that in there. Sorry for reaching in front of y'all. Alright, that's that fresh pasta, homemade, that I made. Okay, I'm gonna stir this in there. Alright. Alright guys, now all I'm gonna do is after I get this all stirred in and incorporated, I'm gonna put this in a casserole dish. And then I'll show you guys what's going on after I get this done. Alright, let me finish this piece up, get it in a casserole dish, and I'll show you how to finish up before it goes into. Alright guys, that right there is my casserole dish, Old Faithful. Alright, I've only used it one time before. I called it Old Faithful because it didn't let me down then. Alright, and I'm just gonna fill this with my casserole. Alright guys, just gonna spoon it on in there, just like this. Nice and beautiful, nice and lovely. I'm trying to keep some of that in the bowl. Alright guys, get that off my counter. It is clean. Alright, I'm gonna spoon this all into my casserole. And then I'm gonna show you guys how I top this bad boy off. Alright, let me get this piece done. Alright, America, you ready for the finish? The big finish. Alright, let me show you this real quick fast. Let me aim the camera. Alright. Tell me that doesn't look good. That looks fantastic. Alright guys? Alright. In here, I have a half a stick of melted butter. Alright, in here, I don't know, a couple cups of panko breadcrumbs. Alright, panko, the Asian kind. Okay, I'm just gonna throw this half a stick of butter right up in there. I'm gonna mix that up. Alright, I'm gonna mix that up. Ooh, that's warm. Anyway, mix these up, get these all coated. Okay, keep some of them in the bowl. Get these nice and coated. Okay, now once I get these all done, nice and coated with butter. You guys give or take, use as much or little butter as you want. Okay. Alright. And now I'm going to sprinkle these on top. Look at me spilling them. Sprinkle this on top of my casserole. Alright guys, it's going to give it a little bit of crunch. Okay. Did I mention I've never done this before? Yeah, it's the truth. Okay, sprinkle them on top. And I'm gonna cover this off with cheese. Altogether, guys, I think I've used about 3/4 of a pound of cheese because I had a 1 pound block and I used half of that in my sauce. And this is another 1/4 that I'm putting on top. You guys use as much little cheese as you want. All right, guys. Nice. One more sprinkle of panko. See, I used more than I needed. Anyway, I just eyeball it. One more sprinkle of panko. Just because I made so much. Alright guys. And with that, I'll bump it. Crunchy's always better. Alright guys, that right there is what I call beautiful. Let me look at the camera, see if y'all see what I'm seeing. Yes, indeed. All right, guys, now I got my oven preheated to 350 degrees. And I'm just gonna put this in the oven until it gets all bubbly. The cheese is melted on top and starts getting brown and all that good stuff. G-bad, golden brown and delicious. And I'm gonna take it out and I'll let y'all take a look at it. All right, guys? I'll be right back. Pah! There it is, America. Y'all see that? Tell me that's not beautiful. Okay, fantastic. Now, let me crack the camera up because I can't see me. Hook me up, baby. My daughter in here. All right, now, let me tell you what happened. Am I in there? I'm good?
Yes, you're
good. All right,
it's
really good. All right, guys, America, this is what happened. I put this in the oven. It smells fantastic. Don't it smell good?
Yeah, it smells so good.
All right, I put everything that you saw. I put it in the oven. I let it sit in there for 25, 30 minutes, okay? It was on 350 degrees. It was cooking, bubbling, smelling all good toward the end, but it wasn't browning fast enough for me, okay? So when you guys do this, I'd recommend bumping up to 400 degrees and then keep an eye on it. But what I did, show it to them, what I would, after that 25 to 30 minutes, then I Then I put it on the underneath the broiler for a minute and a half. Turned it another minute and a half, and you get what you get. All right, smells fantastic. Now, I'm gonna wait till my wife gets here. I'm gonna give her a taste. I'll let you guys see it after I make a plate, and then I'll come back and let you know what she said, and then that'll be the end of the video. All right, guys. So bear with me. All right, y'all. It's taste test time. Taste test time. Hey, Shayla. She said, "Hey, America." All right, baby, come on. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you.
Big piece too.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's also nice. All right, guys, look. I just wanted to share that with y'all. I'm gonna tell you what my wife says, but I couldn't wait. I had to let her taste it. All right, guys. Anyway, I'll be back a little bit. Oh, look, I almost dropped the damn camera. Anyway, I'll be back with y'all in a little bit. Okay. Hey, America, look. And my wife Kim don't never get on camera, okay? But she agreed to do a taste test because I was fixing this for her for when she came home from work. All right, guys. So coming to you soon, her debut performance. My wife Kim. There she is. All right, baby. Just tell me what you think. I've been cooking this, waiting on you. Damn, say something!
It's real good, baby. It's excellent.
Okay, thank you. At least I got excellent. At least I got excellent. Jesus, it's real good, baby. You know that fucking nigga ego up, man. I'm sorry. Anyway, there it is, y'all. You saw from beginning to end. It wasn't hard. It turned out fantastic. Find yourself a recipe, figure it out, do the math, cook yourself something good to eat, especially if you're doing it for somebody that you care about. All right, y'all. Peace.